Welcome intrepid viewers, welcome new viewers. So we're looking at 3-star General Michael Flynn, naughty, very naughty. And so with everything else that's transpired, we've more or less forgotten about Flynn. They're very serious charges of cozying up to the Russians while he was with the campaign and then lying about it. So what does that mean? He's due for sentencing on the 18th of December, but I think we, the public, hear about it on the 4th of December. I think is when we hear about the information that will be going forward in regard to that sentencing. So let's have a look. Michael Flynn, what's in store for him? Michael Flynn. So, all right. So with Flynn, in the middle, King of Wands. Now the King of Wands, like all the court cards and like the cards generally, there's a benevolent version of the wise and generous and merciful king, right through to the egotistical, greedy, irresponsible king. So we have to look at the surrounding cards to get a take on this King of Wands. But my first impression is Wands are fire energy. I think this is Flynn himself as he saw himself prior to being sprung. He saw himself as a reasonable guy who was not afraid of conflict, the Wands, but was quite a measured person before he became a filthy and corrupt traitor. Why has he still got his 3 stars? Anyway, seems these are moot questions these days. Behind him, nostalgia itself. Oh, gulp. Wish I hadn't gone there. Things were much better before. So underneath this, in this first part of the reading, the Hanged Man, things are suspended. Well, it's almost a year since all this unfolded. So that's why he got the Hanged Man in this position. Remembering also that the inverted figure gives you a different perspective. He now thinks of things differently. On top, he gets the Magician card. So, the Magician, a very powerful figure with a lot of tools at his disposal. If I'm reading this correctly, as Flynn, the accomplished man, the educated soldier and so forth, the Magician is an extension of that with these enormous tools that he had to work with. He could connect, see the diagonal arms of the Magician, connecting heaven and earth. Immensely powerful. And he chose to turn his back on that when he took these actions forward. So he will be judged in relation to what he's done through the lens of the Magician, in the sense of he had all the assets and he chose to go to the dark side or the dark magic by doing this, presumably for ugly money. Now, outcome, he has the Empress, pregnant with possibilities. So this does not give us a clear-cut outcome, so I'm going to do more. The Empress card generally is a benevolent card, right? It's not a bad card that he's got there. So let's have a look. further out. Will Flynn go to jail for a long time or not? Flynn, outcome. Oh, more like it, more what I would expect. So the possibilities represented by the Empress have been playing out, I think, during this year when he has been suspended. He would have had very high caliber legal representation and had some cause for hope. But now the Three of Swords comes into play, piercing his heart. Well, sorry, love, you went there. You went there. Oh, I just noticed the bottom of the pack, often known as the shadow card. I don't often read the bottom of the pack, but it just appeared on my screen when I went to collect my cards. Mercenary, Knight of Pentacles, gun for hire. That's him. The piercing of the heart. Well, yes. All right. So we will find out soon enough what that means in relation to General Flynn, who, if nothing else, should be radically ashamed. Didn't his son also get involved in this, viewers? I can't remember the fine print. I think the son was also involved. Now, before I move on, so because that was quite quick on Flynn, I have decided to add Jerome Corsi to this reading. He's one of the leading conspiracy theorists. He was one of those who whipped the fires of birtherism up, all the time. One of those real low-life guys. And he's part of this new pattern that's emerging of sticking it to Mullah and the conventions of law and saying, why would he agree to a plea deal and all this crap, So let's see Jerome Corsi. All right. Yes. All right, Jerome. Is it Jeremy or Jerome? It's spelt Jerome, but I read about these things. I can't bear to listen to the news. So this is from reading. So I'm going to call him Jerome. Sorry if it's pronounced differently. Okay, in the middle, not surprisingly, he has the Chariot charging forth with no hands on the reins. That was him. No holding back is the message in terms of this. Why was he doing it? I'm glad you asked, viewers. He had his own hidden agendas in the form of the High Priestess. Page of Wands comes up underneath. The Orator. Again, as I keep saying with the cards, there's the negative and the positive. If I was reading on Obama, I'd be saying what a great speaker, an orator, someone who says things to be remembered. Well, Corsi's one of those who speaks a great deal publicly, and indeed his stuff does get remembered, but for all the wrong reasons. Here, because he's got hidden agendas. He's not inarticulate. It's funny, he's not dopey like some of these guys are around Trump. They're really quite stupid guys. He's one of the worst because I don't think he's stupid. I think he's deliberately made a path for himself by being very controversial and knew that that would be a way of making money. He's in the thick of it right now, right? He is in the middle of the battle. The battle is not over for Corsi. Right, so he's going to keep fighting. We know this. The Queen of Wands. Now, a judicial figure, again, I would suggest. I think he's probably looking at being dealt with a powerful woman in the judiciary and in the judiciary role. I'll just do a quick one here. I want to know, I want to know if Corsi's going to go to jail. Is Corsi going to go to jail? They have his emails with Roger Stone and WikiLeaks. Is he going to go to jail? Is Corsi going to go to jail? Oh dear, yes. So, what does he get? That very self-satisfied card. I'm not the only reader to find this. It's meant to be a very benevolent card of hopes and wishes and things fulfilled, but no one likes this figure. I suspect no one actually likes Jerome Corsi, right? He's not that popular in his own lunchtime. So, but it's a very smug figure, self-righteous figure, right? And what does he get next? I couldn't be happier. The Tower. Total and catastrophic collapse of his world. Awesome. Good. I have to say. Okay. Now, as an Australian, I think I should do a reading on Julian Assange. Things are finally moving in Julian's very weird world.